let's see if this is going to work. The Twitter feed, see what we've got. Looks like it's working. Check over here. Yes, folks, we've got a little bit of babbling here to see what we've got going. See what we've got. The Twitter one won't let me schedule it to start at noon. Maybe it's going to hold the line until precisely a sec. Yeah, it's holding, the Twitter's holding it back until precisely noon.
Interesting.
Okay, that's kind of a different thing. Welcome to those who are sitting there waiting on YouTube. We are just a little minor ahead of the queue here as we test to make sure we're live streaming out to Twitter. Let's see what we got. Let's see. Next item. That. Five. There we go. That. Change. One more time. Now we will see what happens. All right, well, let's just roll on into YouTube. It didn't quite work, or it might just suddenly take off live anyway. So we will just take it away and get rolling. First things first. Start to back up. All right. It's interview 75, and we have Ryan Logan from Influence WP and Changelog WP talking about the power of centralized changelogs and WordPress maintenance and more.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for WordPress plugins A to Z, not Z.
Welcome to another episode of WP Plugins A to Z Interview Show. In this episode, we are talking the power of centralized changelogs and WordPress maintenance with Ryan Logan, where we will be revealing how centralized changelogs can help website owners keep ahead of the curve in the ever-changing plugin world and more. WordPress, the king of content management systems, powering the web with over 80,000 plugins to choose from. How do you sort the junk from the gems? Welcome to WP Plugins A to Z, where we've been keeping the pulse of WordPress alive for over 16 incredible years. Join us every week for an unrehearsed, real talk breakdowns of the latest and greatest plugins, developer and community member interviews. Some weeks, Amber and I team up to dig in. Others, I'm flying solo, unpacking WordPress news, demoing a standout plugin, or sharing tips to power up your site. No scripts, no fluff, just the good stuff from A to Z. So plug in and let's get rolling. Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be hiding out there on the globe today. Coming to you direct from the brewery overlooking beautiful southern Vancouver Island. I'm John Overall. Welcome to the interview show 75 with WP Plugins A to Z, where we're thrilled to have Ryan Logan, the IT wizard turned WordPress trailblazer behind Influence WP and Changelog WP. From dodging high-stakes crashes as an interim CIO in the cutthroat world of high-frequency trading to crafting a scam-free haven for plugin deals and changelog mastery. Ryan's ditched the corporate grind for a life fueled by community vibes, craft brews, and a fierce commitment to amplifying the little guy in our sprawling ecosystem. Whether you're a plugin peddling, dev hunting, Vev partnership, or a site juggling agency owner chasing update nirvana, Ryan's got the unfiltered wisdom to keep your WordPress world spinning smooth, minus the affiliate fluff. So grab that IP, settle in, let's dive into the deals, the drama, and the downright dogged dedication that's making Changelog WP and Influence WP the go-tos for genuine WordPress wins. Let's get started. Welcome to the show, Ryan.
Hey, John, thanks for having me back.
Oh, yeah. Well, happy to have you back. And, We had a really good time on the last show. This time around, we're going to a little differently than before, but what the heck? I've been working out my routines here. First off, before we get going, for those who don't know who you are, we're going to go a little bit of background history of you. Take us back and talk to us a little bit about back in the days when you were an intern grunt doing CIO high frequency trading, and what was it that led you to WordPress?
Yeah, so I started my IT career in 1997. Started out as an intern, literally sitting in data closets. My task was to watch the lights blink on the routers and the switches and to report back and say, hey, these are the ports that are the chattiest. And so I went from that to landing an internship and then just worked my way up over the years. And right before I exited corporate, I was an interim CIO. So my best friend at the time was actually the CIO, and he left the company. I took his spot until they found a replacement. So I went from the bottom all the way to about the top before I exited. And then I started my own IT consulting firm. And then I was just asked over and over again, can you build us a website? And I just kept saying, no, no, no. So one weekend, I locked myself in my apartment and taught myself WordPress, and the rest is history, pretty much.
Well, that's the one joy about WordPress. If you have any technical skills, you can learn it all really fast.
Yeah. And then also I really have a real passion for design. So I could never really exercise that muscle with the IT world. So it was a perfect marriage for me, the tech and the design. So.
Well, let's talk about between dogs, hikes, craft beer, bourbon tastings. You're a pretty busy guy outside of the code cave. How do those sorts of passions help you keep your mindset while you're getting all your other crazy things done, such as Influence WP and Changelog WP?
Well, it's kind of like vacations. It's something to look forward to, so I'll just check out each day, whether it's walking the dogs or go sit outside and have a new craft beer that I haven't tried before, or maybe a new bourbon I haven't tried before. It's taking those hikes with the dogs, with the family, traveling to local breweries and whatnot, just making sure you get out and, as they say, touch grass enough times to keep you grounded.
Yeah, so as far as beers go, what's your favorite? IPAs or something more darker? Which one? Where do you land on that spectrum of beer?
They laugh when I walk into a new brewery I've never been to, and I'm like, so what beer is amber in color? And they just laugh, and they're like, yep, know exactly what you're looking for. That 9 times out of 10 will work for me. But I've recently started getting more into IPAs. Mm-hmm. It's just, those are hit or miss for me because sometimes they're a little too heavy, but I'll try anything one time. And then I actually I keep track of everything I've ever tried.
Oh. I used to keep track of all the ones I tried. There was an app that I used to use that tracked all the different beers that I tasted. It was like for several years when the craft brew blew up around us. That's why I say brewery overlook. I've got a craft brewery right off my balcony from my apartment that I stare at and smell what they're brewing on a regular basis.
Yeah, I use the Untapped app.
Yeah,
so
that was it.
Plug for Untapped app, but
that was it. That's what I used to use.
Yeah.
So
but actually, just really quick, like this, where I live near Charlotte, North Carolina, is a big time brewery spot. And I'll actually say my favorite are from right around here. And it's not just because they're local; they are literally like my favorite.
Well, that's the joy of it, and all my favorites are my local ones. Like I've got 3 breweries within walking distance of my apartment.
Yep.
So it's always nice to say, I need one. Just grab a growler, go fill it all up.
100%.
All right. Well, we've had you on the show before back in interview 65. So what's evolved for you over the past, well, that was back in March, I believe, since March with WP Influence, and what brought about Changelog WP?
Well, Influence WP turned 1. We'll call it September 1st, so this month. What's changed there is a couple of big changes. One, I used to try to be everything to everyone. So I tried to promote podcasts, newsletters, all of that. Hosting companies. I quickly found out that I'm going to be able to serve WordPress best if I focus on WordPress product creators. So that was a major shift, a very welcome shift because it makes my life a lot easier.
Yep.
I know who I can help the most. And then the other thing too is I used to have to do a lot of partner outreach to get this thing really spun up and active. I'm finding now that people are starting to come to me, which is making my life so much easier. There. So they're coming to Influence WP asking me to be a part of it. So that's, it's encouraging. Whereas before I had to do the outreach. Changelog WP was a passion project as well. That's always been in the back of my mind. I always knew that I was a developer short of making it happen. So you have to find a developer that's also passionate about the subject matter, or it doesn't really work. And then that's where a partnership was formed to bring it to life, to solve problems and to help people, not just to do something that we just thought was interesting.
That's quite fantastic. Now with the Influence WP, we'll touch on that real briefly before we dive into Changelog. Now, tell us a little bit, a lot of people know, but maybe not everybody in the audience here knows. What are the benefits of Influence WP? Tripping over the acronyms there. Influence WP. What are the benefits of it, and how does it help not only the creators of products, but also the users of those products?
Yeah, so starting with the creators, what I hear quite often from the creators, they're developers. They're not marketers. I am not trained. I'm not a marketer. I don't consider myself a marketer.
You're getting real good at it.
I'm trying, yeah, but there's they just want to code and they don't want to do the marketing, and they don't really have, maybe they're just starting out and they don't really have a lot of money coming in from their plugins or themes or whatever. And they're looking for a way to get their name out there, but they don't have the money to take on a marketing firm or pay lots of money to be whatever, sponsor some things. So this is literally a free way for them to extend their customer reach. As long as all I ask is they offer a deal to the WordPress community, then they're in for free, and I will go to bat for them and help them spread the word. If they're not able to offer a deal, they don't like that model for whatever reason, they can just pay a very, very small fee just to help me keep the lights on, and I'll still do the same amount of work for them. So I've been there, I've had products, I didn't know where to turn, I didn't have the channels, but not all of those things at the same time. So if you are purchasing anything in the WordPress space, and sometimes even outside, like things that help you with your WordPress site that aren't WordPress products, like video recording software, for example, you should check Influence WP first before you purchase any of that. Like we said, I don't get an affiliate commission or anything like that. It's just me helping these product creators spread the word. But you are in almost every case, you're gonna save more than you are on another website that offers similar deals.
Excellent. And so, sorry, I got sidetracked there. I was having a minor technical glitch that I've solved. Yeah, so now I just got to pull my brain back in because
I'll continue. There's one more point. I'll let you think on it.
You continue.
Yeah, there's one more really
good point. You continue, get one more real good point. And of course,
okay,
hey, folks, this is all live to tape, so I'll edit it out in post. Hey, all stuff.
Yeah, so some of the pushback, I'm going to talk about one of the pushbacks. One of the pushbacks I get from product creators is the deals. It's not very often, but once in a while I get one. So I've literally had a big company, which they are now a partner. We went back and forth. No, we don't really do that. And I said, hey, did you have an affiliate program. You are giving away 30% of your revenue to your affiliates. What are they doing for you? Well, they're putting their link on a page and we're paying them. Okay, why not give Influence WP 30% as an upfront discount? Or hey, let's just make it 20% upfront discount and you never have to pay me an affiliate commission. How does that not make sense from a business standpoint? And they would go back a couple of days and then I would get the email that says, yes, you have a very good point. Let's do it. So that's the thing I really want to drive home to people. It's like, if, yeah, you have an affiliate program, that's absolutely fine. Continue running that. But this is a different approach that you can also take.
Right.
That I really want to drive that home. You're giving people a discount on the front end. It lowers the barrier of entry. You are rewarding them from the start. Whereas with an affiliate program, you are rewarding somebody for literally putting a link on a page and making your customers pay higher prices. So to me, it just makes total sense, but it's still a sticking point for some.
Well, that one does sort of make sense. I wouldn't understand why a business wouldn't do that. I mean, one of the requirements I understood from Influence WP, and unless you've modified, is that you wanted the deals to be as good as their affiliate or better than their affiliate program.
So if the deal was, if you are offering a deal on the web to some other partner, and it'll say it's 20%, all I ask is that you match it. I'm not asking for special treatment.
Right.
I just want consumers that sign up for Influence WP, when they hit that deal, that it works and that they know they're getting at least equal to the best deal on the web. I want people to be able to trust these links that they hit.
Okay, so what you're looking for is the best deal that they're offering on the web, whatever they're
equal to.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, you want to be equal to whatever the best deal they're offering out there on the web, where it would be, because I know there's companies that have varying levels of deals at different places.
Yeah, and I'll give you another example. This happened this past week, last week. Someone came to me, a partner, and they said, we can't do this level of discount anymore because our other partners are not happy because they're not getting the same. And then I said, well, this is what you go back and you tell them you're taking their affiliate commissions away, and then you'll give them the same deal you're giving Influence WP. See how they react. And they said, yeah, they're not going to go for that. I go, there's your answer.
Yeah. You're
paying your affiliates more than I'm asking you for. So it's a no-brainer. And they came back and they said, this is like a big company, WordPress too, by the way. And they said, yeah, they go, nope, we're good. We're going to stay with you. Keep the percentage.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's what you want to do. But what that does is, I know that Influence WP has started to make lots of inroads all over the place. I'm starting to see more and more of it out there in my Twitter feed. Aside from what you put out, I'm starting to see more from others, which is a good thing, which means you're starting to gain ground. Now, you've also mildly ruffled a few feathers lately when you introduced your weekly newsletter, now that you're finding out how much joy a newsletter can be. And, the unfiltered newsletter, it's really quite good. You do have, a little differently than what I see a lot of newsletters, only if you're signed up for the newsletter do you get it. You don't have a web page that's got an archive of them. What was the choice behind that? Why did you go that route?
Well, when I first started Influence WP, one of the pillars was a bad actors program. I wanted to point out people that were doing people wrong in the WordPress space. For whatever, I just decided not to do that. I just didn't want to do that anymore, pursue that anymore. So it's always been in the back of my mind that I feel like practices, maybe not specific people, but practices should be called out. In some cases, you have to call out people. It's just the way that it is. I mean, you may have seen the other day, I posted something and I literally had someone say name names. So when you see someone's telling you to name names, that tells me that people are open to that. So in the unfiltered section of the newsletters, which, as you said, you have to be a subscriber to get, I didn't want to just come out and blast it all over the social medias, all of those things. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to it's not a way to get subscribers by any means. It's just, I wanted to keep it just within the newsletter and not blast it out to the world. If it gets out, it gets out. It's not, I would tell people right now, everything I said, and it's nothing I'm hiding.
No.
But it's, sometimes you just need to call people out on certain things. And since starting Influence WP, I've ran across some not so pleasant individuals and not so pleasant companies. And it's just amazing that when you try to help people for free, that there's just that much animosity out there. But
It can be a tough slog. That's for damn sure. All right. Well, let's change our focus here to the changelog WP, and let's talk a bit about this because this one here is a unique idea. The thought had never occurred to me to try and collect the change logs. And I know how important change logs are to me as a person who manages, lots of client websites, and I've got to go in and update a plugin. The change log is the first thing I look at to see what's going to happen because everyone's, oh, just do your updates. They let auto updates happen. Well, I learned years ago that you do not do that on an active site, if at all possible, simply for the fact that even a company that you've come to depend on for several years of perfect updates could have one update that has a code error that they didn't anticipate, or maybe somebody fixing the code took out a semicolon and broke the whole thing. So it brings down and white screens your website. So the change log is important that I can look and see, okay, what changes did they make? What did they adjust? What sort of things that happen? Now, change logs vary in their usefulness depending on who's creating them, but they're still helpful. So where did this idea come from? What sort of brought it about?
Yeah, running a WordPress agency since 2016, managing multiple websites. The change logs are so critical to know to systematically how to roll out updates the right way. Whether it's updating your site first, updating like certain client sites that aren't like critical, and then you've got those client sites that that are super hypercritical. You're just doing those staged rollouts. Change logs become super important for that. You got to know what's in them, when they were released, all of those types of things, so you can make educated decisions on when to press that update button, so to speak. Mm-hmm. So like if you're an agency doing website care like I am, you might have a tool that is centralized that gives you those, but there's certain like premium plugins and stuff like that don't always give you the change log. They'll literally come back, that tool, and it'll say, we can't give you that information. So what you're left to do is you got to go out, you got to find the website for the plugin, you got to hunt down their change log. And then like what I do is I have like this whole entire folder of bookmarks for the plugins. But the problem with that is that if you go and you add another plugin to your stack, you got to start the hunt all over again and hope that you find it and bookmark it. And that's just one side of the equation. We're just talking about agencies. Like we could get into the professional that's not doing website maintenance. We can get into the DIYers that have no clue what a changelog even is.
Yeah.
Like there's so many levels to this.
There is. Now, with the premium plugins that you just mentioned and their changelogs, I understand the pain of hunting them down. Now, you've started Changelog WP by tapping into the WordPress repo for changelogs. How are you integrating the changelogs from premium plugins into this system?
So that is what we are working on right now to try to figure out. So you have some premium plugins that are selling with one platform, right, and then others are selling with another. Some are rolling their own, and we have to get all of the use cases gathered up. We have to do the testing. We have to figure out how to get those in, to build the documentation, to build those systems, to see if we can automate any of it. So we are working behind the scenes to find all of these individual use cases as we speak to make that happen. I don't know if that's my computer doing that.
No, that was mine.
Okay.
I thought I had turned them off, but I didn't. I usually turn them off. Now they're turned off. Now the notifications. Yeah, that's me.
As long as it's not me, I'd feel bad if it was me.
No, that's my system saying, hey, you've got emails. Yeah, I've got emails. Okay. Go away. I'll look at them again. I'll look at them again in about half an hour or so. All right. So you're working through the process here of getting the change logs from all the premium plugins into everything. And yet there's multiple areas you got to go chase these down, whether they do them like I do mine on the plugins I'm creating I keep my change logs over on GitHub. There's some sources that, you buy the plug through Freemius, and I'm not sure the change log. I always find it over on the developer's website.
Yep.
And that's the sorts of things that I see the problems you have is most of them will be on a developer's website and finding out if they've even got an RSS feed for their changelog. And some of them do their changelogs really oddly, where they've got the most recent changes, but they don't have the whole history going back. Like, for instance, it's not uncommon for sometimes take 2 or 3 weeks to do an update on a plugin, but they've updated it 3 times. You know, and so we've got 3 changelogs missing from it, from the most recent. And going forward, how is that sort of thing giving you grief?
I can't really speak to the premium side of things yet because it's still, work in progress. But like the free plugins, like if you go to Changelog WP now and look at it, it's like you said, you're gonna see some that have the full changelog since the beginning of time. Some only have the latest. Like I'm looking at one now on my screen. It's got like the last 3. So it's a thing. But if you go, I'm just clicking around them right now and just kind of checking them out.
Yeah, well, I'm clicking through a couple here from the website for folks to take a look at here on YouTube.
Yeah, but I mean, at a minimum, we need that most recent. At an absolute minimum, that helps greatly. Just having that last one.
Well, the last one's very important, but if you've managed to miss a few versions of a plugin, sometimes you'll want to know what they've done.
Yep, 100%. Like I just clicked on one right here. It's beautiful. It goes all the way back to 1.0. The problem is with this one, there's no dates. So, that is a real pet peeve of mine. And
yeah,
I always want the dates in there because you have to have the dates.
Yeah, that's the one interesting thing about changelogs. There's been no consistency in how they were created and put together.
It takes 3 seconds to add the date. Just add the date.
Yeah, well, it takes 3 seconds, or like when I'm creating my changelogs, I just copy and paste the previous change, the date, and then put in the latest information. Yeah. So
if you can type in 2.0, you can type in January 1st, 2025, or whatever it is, that you do there.
Okay, so for plugin authors, plugin developers out there that might be listening to the show, what do you want to do what's the pitch for them using Changelog to help build user trust with their sites, with their plugins?
So there's a couple different things. If this thing goes the way we hope, it's going to have a lot of eyeballs on it. People just perusing, seeing what's out there. There's also kind of back to what I said, developers just want to develop. They don't want to. It's probably a reason they don't put version numbers in there. Probably a reason they don't make them look pretty all the time. Or, you've got some websites out there that have gorgeous changelogs. They put a lot of effort into them. Some developers may not even want to be bothered, and they just want a way for us to collect them and display them for them. So there's incentive there. We have a long-term plan to do a unique service, whether that ever comes to fruition, but we do have a plan to help people display changelogs on their website in a pretty way. So that's coming hopefully in the future. But I would just say the eyeballs. People are here browsing the site looking for changelogs, and they click the drop-down arrow. Eventually, it will say premium. What's out there? It's just getting more eyeballs on your stuff, and if our copy on the website is doing its job, people new to WordPress, I guess even people using WordPress for a while, they want to keep up with changelogs, then there's incentive to be listed here and be searchable and let people add you to their watch list, and so they can keep track of what you're up to. So I think there's a lot of value in it.
There is, and you even have a nice search function for hunting things down on it.
And actually it'll actually unearth things that you can't get from the repository if you want to have some fun with it.
Yeah, well, there's lots of external tools to unearth stuff from the repository that you can't find in the repository. Yeah, it's a strange phenomenon that's irritated me for years with the WordPress repo.
Yeah, if you were trying to offer more value too. So if you go into like one of the changelog listings, you'll see on the right-hand side, it kind of mimics the WordPress repository. what we're hoping to do is add things that you can't do right now in the repository, which is sort by like last updated PHP requirements, tested up to those types of things.
Oh, those would be some nice sort functions.
Yeah. So it's just, yeah. So it's just right now, it's just the priority. We're working through the priority of things, and that's getting the premium stuff in there. And then the whole faceted and search system will continue to evolve so we can unearth plugins easier for people, surface those plugins easier, and have better sorting and stuff like that than what we have now.
So the building of Changelog WP must have been quite the feat to pull together. Did you get much pushback initially when you were trying to build this out and get it launched?
Pushback from the
community, developers, WordPress, anybody? Did anybody, or did people work to embrace it?
Oh, I think we've heard nothing but really good stuff, especially behind the scenes. I get emails all the time. How do I get my plugins in? And I'm just, we're trying. You know, what platform are you selling on? You know, it's an information gathering problem right now.
Yeah.
But the response has been great, especially behind the scenes. There's been a lot of good, like on socials, a lot of good interaction. But behind the scenes, it's those emails that we're getting, like, hey, we want to be a part of this. How do we become part of this? Yeah, so the reception's been great. I think on social media, there was a couple people that kind of had reservations about, especially on the premium side of things, like how are you talking to our sites and things like that. But we, you know, quickly said it's opt-in, like we're not scraping your sites.
Yeah.
you know, so there's a couple of those outliers that we squashed those and said, hey, we're just trying to do the right thing by you guys here. We're not, you know, this is just a feel good, help people project.
Well, that's the whole idea, is you want to be helping people and helping bring more useful tools to the WordPress ecosystem. The WordPress ecosystem's gone through a massive transition in this last year. It's been very interesting to see as I've reintegrated myself back into it. Mm-hmm. Now, with all of you got going on here, and with WordPress itself bringing on their AI team for AI integrations and stuff, how would you see Influence WP and Changelog WP future-proofing creators against that tidal wave that's coming down the pike? Because that is coming. The AI is coming. We can't stop it. I mean, just this last year alone of usage has been incredible.
Which AI specifically are we talking about? Creating websites, creating plugins?
Well, I'm not even certain. I haven't even done the deep dive yet, or the dive into what Automatic's doing for the AI team that they brought on for WordPress. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure what they're doing yet. I know they brought out something a couple of weeks ago, but I was so sidetracked in projects that I didn't have the time to look at it, and so it got set to the side. But I know that they've got an AI team to integrate AI into WordPress core itself.
Mm-hmm. So, if I think I understand what you're asking, I would say that if there is a reason for Influence WP and Changelog WP to never exist, mm-hmm. then that means WordPress no longer exists. Yeah. I think that's my response to that, because if they're going to do something with AI that eliminates plugin creators, theme creators, well, theme creators is probably coming before plugin creators.
Theme creators
I think they're in
theme
trouble.
Creators' days are limited, I believe, myself.
I do too. But if their AI eliminates these product creators, then yeah, Changelog WP goes away and Influence WP goes away. But so does the ecosystem. Well, the ecosystem's gone.
WordPress will be gone if you eliminate the creators, the product creators. They made WordPress. That was the whole reason why, when I was opting to create WP plugins A to Z, I had thought about themes, and I looked at themes versus plugins and what plugins were doing to WordPress and how they changed it. I've been working with WordPress since it was literally just a blog. It could do nothing but blog. Mm-hmm. And when they introduced the custom post types and people took that and ran, it became something more than what was anticipated. And it's done nothing but extend upon it. And many plugin developers have found other ways to hook into the hooks of WordPress to there's some incredibly complex websites that are created on WordPress, but it wouldn't be possible without the plugin ecosystem.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Automatic's new Telex system, AI system for creating blocks with AI,
Yeah.
and let's say that is as successful as it could possibly be. You still are going to need product creators to do other stuff. So I'll just say it again, like if Influence WP had to go away and Changelog WP had to go away, that means WordPress is probably not, I would say not in existence, but it's a shell of what it is, like what we know it to be. They'd have to bring literally everything in-house, and that's it. like that's the only way.
Yeah, it's not possible. The WordPress ecosystem has become too bloody huge.
You would lose all of those people out there like me that are that are sticking up for WordPress, trying to push it forward, doing all these things. You're going to lose all of those people doing that.
Right.
That free marketing.
That free marketing is what made WordPress so viable. I was part of that market in the beginning. I even had courses that I taught the local night school.
Yeah. Everybody wins with how it's going now, as long as we just steady the course, shore up some things that have happened, keep the train going down the tracks. I mean, we can keep it going. So
let's give a shout out. Who do you think is one of the unsung heroes? We've talked off and on through this about promoting people and promoting the small or the ones that are doing unique things. Who do you think would be an unsung hero that's dropping knowledge or tools that deserve a little bit of spotlight right now?
Dropping knowledge and tools.
Knowledge or tools. They don't always go hand in hand. Knowledge usually works out to be tools, but knowledge starts before tools are created.
It's going to sound really cliche to say this, but they're in Influence WP. It's almost all of the partners are doing this. And this is what frustrates me the most. Why I dropped that comment about podcasts the other day that stirred some drama is there's so many people doing cool stuff that they're not being surfaced. It's just, I think I said this on the show last time. It's just these echo chambers of promoting people that are inside Automatic or that are in these inner circles. And that's the problem. It's like, let's say you go on a podcast and some podcasts give you a chance to talk about yourself, but they also say, like you just did, here's your chance to mention somebody. Mm-hmm. What they're often doing is mentioning somebody that's sitting right next to them on the podcast. So my answer to you is there are a lot of people doing really, really cool stuff that they're just not being surfaced. And that's what I am trying to do. It's what I am trying to ruffle some feathers and get more people to do that have a way bigger platform than I have. But the sad thing is, if I had to just answer your question with a real person, it's going to be somebody that's already so built up by the inner circles. And I don't want to do that because we already know who they are. It's the AI team. It's the performance team with the Google folks that are now in WordPress, building all of that kind of stuff. And it's all these people that keep getting the shine, which they so rightly deserve, but there's a lot of other people that need it too. For the reasons we just said, the product creators are what makes this thing go. We should embrace them more and spread the word more. If it's not influenced, if you don't want to uplift Influence WP, that's fine. Let's find something else to make that happen. But I've already built it, so it's
that's partly what we try to do here at WP Plugins A to Z, and I've made that my goal throughout the entire time, is always finding the new plugins. For a long time, our show only featured plugins that were just released, had less than 10 installs. Sometimes we end up with some that have more, but a lot of times, most of what we showcase here is about the new developers and such. And the post you made, that brings us around to talking a bit about the podcasting field in WordPress and what it is and where it's at right now. It is a lot of people that are stuck in echo chambers, and they're not breaking themselves out of them completely. A lot of them, they've established their brands, I guess, and that's where they stay focused, and they often have the same guests on over and over again instead of reaching out to all the smaller people to say, hey, why don't you come on here and talk about it, or trying to get out. Like I've been reaching out to, much in the same way that you had to with WP Influence. I had to reach out to multiple places. I'm starting to get people reaching back out to me for interviews, which is nice. It does saves a ton of work when they reach out to me versus me having to figure out how to contact them, because some people make contacting them so bloody hard.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you already have, but like it just goes without saying, like anybody you see roll through Influence WP, hey, just tell them like let's do this. I mean, I think they would all jump on the chance to talk to you. To be
Yeah.
honest, so.
Well, because of that tweet you put out, I managed to find 3 people that were lesser known to reach out to off of there. Because you managed to ruffle some feathers and you popped a few things on it, and out of this thread that came out, I thought it was rather comical when Jeffro commented that don't make him come out of retirement, because he was the show that started just before me, and he was
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he started WP Tavern. He created WP Tavern originally.
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah.
And he kept it going for several years until his life changed and he had to put it aside. And because he built such a reputation, Matt bought it up, and it turned into what it is now, which unfortunately it's mostly hardly anything comes out of there anymore.
Yeah, when he said that, like I didn't even need to go look it up. Like I knew WP Mainline like came to mind instantly, because that is like yours. That's the type of podcast that I use. It got me into loving podcasts. It was, hey, you could have sponsors, but they are like behind the scenes. You go to the website, sponsors are listed there. Maybe a small little mention, but it's like, let's get into the meat and potatoes. Let's talk about something meaningful. That's why I loved that podcast, and that's why I loved yours, and that's why I love yours, and that's why I loved like WP Water Cooler. I was sad when that went away because they had that same format. Like, let's just get to the heart of things. Let's get to the meat. I find myself now, like I'm not even kidding. I think I told you this before we hit record. I've been deleting podcasts. Like I just can't do it anymore. I tried to resolve it by putting people on playing it at 1.3 speed, but it's like anxiety. Like it's just people talking way too fast, and it's like that didn't work. So it's like, all right, I got to delete it. But it's just now it's when I don't do that, it's just fast forward, and it's like fast forward, fast forward, fast forward, fast forward. And I know people have to pay the bills. I'm not against that. It's just I think there's other ways to do that.
There are other ways. One of the great ways, like there was mention about people like sponsors and whatnot. It's like that. I went down that route once before with my show, getting sponsorships and dealing with sponsors. I found to be not worth the headache involved. And then I flipped to the value for value model. In other words, if I was giving value, audience gave me value back. They either promoted me or helped us out like we used to have until I let the show mostly die back. People used to provide artwork for us and links to stuff, and people referred new plugins to us. And then, of course, there were the people out there that gave us cash, which was a nice thing. That was some validation of it. And the value for value model is the one that is truly the only one that works in podcasting. Podcasts eventually die out if they're dependent upon sponsorships because their content gets stale. And like your case, they're like, you know what? I just can't handle this anymore. And it's gone from their app and they're no longer listening to it.
Yeah. I had some, I'd have to search for it now. I had some follow-up people that were like following up on my post. And one of the things that I responded to or said was, if people, there's different sponsorships level, right? There's, I've got a budget. I need to spend my money. I'm just going to give it to some podcaster. Okay. There's that. There's the friend of the show that, wants their logo, all that. There was another one. There's like 3 levels, right? But the problem becomes then is if you are getting sponsorships just because someone has a budget to spend or they're a friend of the show, where's the incentive to change, to keep the format fresh, or to uplift smaller players in WordPress, or to maybe have some spicy takes or something like that. Like where's the incentive to do anything other than what you just do every single episode? There's none. You already have your money.
Yeah.
So now, a year down the road, so and so's like, okay, I'm even tired of this podcast. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, dropping sponsorships for whatever reason. And then they're like, like maybe all along we should have been, doing this differently.
Yeah. You'd mentioned something about the numbers, people asking about the numbers of downloads of a show. Coming directly from a podcaster, knowing full well how the system works, nobody knows what their numbers are. I don't care how much they pretend they do. What they do know is the number of file downloads from their stuff, but they don't know if people actually listen to it. Because there's a lot of people that are on Ghost. It's like even me on my podcast app. It's a ghost app sometimes. It's like I'm not listening to shows for a few weeks, but yet the shows still download to my app automatically. But I didn't listen, and I go back to it. It's like, I don't want to listen to these back episodes, and delete. But yet those numbers were counted as downloads. And that happens across the board.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah, it happens across the board for listeners. And so nobody really knows their listenership. The closest they can get is if they've got a really good newsletter going, and they send out X number of subscribers to a newsletter. That tells them how many people are subscribed to their newsletter and getting information. That's a little closer to a real number. But the reality is, it's like tracking the numbers online of traffic to your website. Are you counting the bots? Because there's that. That's the other thing that happens too, is bots will come in and download it to pump the numbers. Look, it's the most downloaded show ever. Yeah, you had 10,000 bots come in and download 1,000 shows each. So it's like,
go
ahead.
Yeah, sorry. So that begs the question then. Influence WP reaches out to hypothetically get a sponsor. What could you possibly give them, a company then, to convince them to sponsor you? As far because if you don't have the numbers, that pretty much tells me that it's who you know, right?
Yep.
That's what it tells me.
That's often what it is. The numbers on the internet, I have all kinds of numbers. We've got everything. It gives us an idea on what's happening. And Blake here had a comment for us. He's mowing the yard equals podcast time. The only time he listens to podcasts. Thanks, Blake. Greatly appreciate it. Appreciate you listening to the show here too.
Is that the Blake that I think it
That's
is?
it. Blake Whittle.
Hey, Blake. Yeah, we were talking about you earlier.
So, yeah. So
that makes me think. Then, if we don't have numbers to show, where are these sponsorships coming from? Why? I don't really understand the inner workings of it.
Well,
it just seems to me like it's. I don't want to use it. Seems rigged.
Well, it could be. You could look at it in that aspect, but it's also the aspect of, all right, so somebody with X Premium plugin, they want to try and increase their downloads. They go through podcasts and they think, okay, this podcast talks about a lot of stuff. They seem to reach a lot of people. They're talked about online regularly, and that's where it is. And then they reach out to podcasts and say, yeah, well, my numbers, what is my numbers? Well, my YouTube numbers are minuscule, so I don't have YouTube numbers. It's like we get a few people live. We get after show views of it, as many as 78 to 100 views of the show afterwards. My podcast itself, like this is recorded and sent out into my podcast feed. That number there pumps up. I know I've got at least 300 to 500 subscribers, but some weeks I'll see as many as 1,500 downloads of my show. At one point in my history, I would see 3,000 to 4,000 downloads of my show. My numbers have been building nicely in the last year. They were down as low as like 50, 60. That about this time last year, when I decided to make this show more vibrant and do these long form interviews with people such as yourself, that helps give them more information and reasons to listen to the show. It's like, and for those that have listened this far in the show, you guys have just gotten some of the spicy stuff and a little bit of inside baseball for it.
Yeah, I mean, what we really need is we need better analytics. We need how long, like, so yeah, you have 500 downloads for your podcast.
Yeah.
What's the listener time? Like, if your podcast is 60 minutes long, but each person is averaging 5 minutes listening time, that tells you have a problem with retention, and you're not holding the attention of these people. Your app downloaded it. They don't really care what you're saying.
Well,
I mean, man, if you could dive in and see when people are fast forwarding, like, oh my gosh.
Some of those numbers are starting to appear if people are using podcasting 2.0 apps. But certain podcasting 2.0 apps track that information and pass that information back. I'm not sure which ones. I haven't dug into that, but with all of the new podcasting 2.0 stuff, I don't have it all attached to my podcast yet. But once that information will start to appear in the next few years, as far as I know. So there is some things that are out there.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I'd love to see it. I think of like newsletters. Yeah, great. You have 5,000 subscribers, but if like your click-through rate is minuscule, those numbers don't mean anything. So I don't know. I just feel like the podcast thing is, we need more insight. We need more insight as to what's really going on. But
yeah, on the newsletter side there, I was dealing with a person that I've subscribed to their newsletter for a long time. For a long time, she always made it so people clicked in the newsletter to go see the whole newsletter on her website. And then she stopped doing that, started feeding it in. And then she started wondering why her click-through rates had dropped dramatically. And she didn't take into consideration that part of the click-through rate of a newsletter is the automatic downloading of images to an email client. I have my email client set up so no images are downloaded in any email that comes down. So what happens, I get a newsletter, they don't get notification that I actually read it. I might read the text, and if I think the images are useful, I'll then download the images, but probably a good 75% of the time I don't. So they don't get a notification that I clicked on that or read that newsletter. And that's where part of the newsletter problem comes in. Is you might be getting this low thing, but is it truly low, or are they just not allowing images to auto download to their email app, whatever it happens to be?
Yeah.
And I know a lot of them default to not downloading, such as Google and Outlook and others. The default setting is to not download images, because once upon a time that was a source of spam and a source of headache to your computer.
Yeah, all those things. I don't know. The spicy side of me just wants to keep coming out. But whether it's newsletters or podcast, I feel like it's who you know. Yep. Maybe it's who you met at a WordCamp. I haven't gone to one yet, so I don't have that FaceTime. But I just feel like it's not the numbers. It's something else that's making this happen the way that it is. But it's part of the reason I just said, forget it. I'm not doing sponsors. I'm just doing all this with my own money, my own time. I'm not doing it. Like it's I don't know. I don't want to sound sensitive, but it's like it starts getting hurtful after a while when you give something this much time to a project for a year in WordPress, and people won't even entertain it because you are not so and so.
Yeah, been there, done that. Seen that one a few times. I've even seen one of the most fantastic membership plugins ever created. I saw the guy, and I would talk to him back and forth until he finally just abandoned it and walked away because he got treated so poorly in the community. Well,
along those lines that you were talking about, like the unsung heroes and all that, people doing good stuff. I had another post. It wasn't really spicy, but got some traction, was mental health. And behind the scenes, there's product creators that they're talking to me about it. It's a problem. It's people wanting to pay nothing for plugins. It's people being rude to them on support. It's the race to the bottom. It's the being like held down, not being given a fair shot. Like people are struggling. And it's out there. It's sad.
On
Anyway,
that one thought about people not wanting to pay for plugins, and we'll probably close out with this little bit. It was the GPL issue, because you made mention about hating GPL plugins. In other words, the ones that have been nulled. All WordPress plugins are GPL, just so people know. I had to wrap that one in my head a few times before I understood what was meant by it.
Oh, was that the newsletter this week?
Yeah, it was the newsletter this week, talking about that. But what happened was it led me down a route of doing some research real briefly. And I found something really surprising to me coming from, a site that I really had some respect for is WP Mayor. And they had an article in there talking about the GPL abuse and all of these different websites that are nulling plugins. And what stuck out to me that I thought was wrong on the aspect is they're telling about how bad it is or whatnot, and then they go down and list them. And one of the websites, they actually gave a discount code for people to use to go sign up to it. And I'm like, what? Why would you do this and then encourage people, here's a discount code, go sign up and get these nulled plugins?
That can't be. Is that really true?
Here, I'll bring it up for you.
Oh my gosh. That's next level.
I don't talk about things that I don't have some proof on.
I was being rhetorical. I trusted you, but I was just like, that can't be true.
Yeah, you should be able to see the shared screen. So
yeah, I got it.
It's right here.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, so that one there is like, really?
It's actually kind of believable.
Well, it's very believable, but it was like, really?
I don't know what level of spice you want me to take this, but this is a passion thing of mine.
I've had the same problem over the years, because I inherited a couple of websites over the years where people had used null plugins, and the reason they came to me is because they were hacked. And it's like, once I found out, it's like, okay, this is why, and they had to pay me a decent sum of money to basically undo all the damage to their website, as I work hard to keep from using the swear words.
Yeah, we could do a whole show on this topic alone. But it's an education thing. People, what you just showed me on your screen is what I'm so passionate about. That they are soliciting that. Mm-hmm. They are not only not educating, they are encouraging the use of those sites.
Yeah,
and people wonder why this stuff is happening. It's like,
and that was the one. Like, WP Mayor is a really good website. Have a nice podcast, but that one surprised me.
If you have the platform that they have, they should be leading the charge in the education space for this.
With a little luck and some effort over the next year, this platform will be a lot bigger. So it's gotten bigger in the last year, and it's going to continue to grow, because I'm looking hard to bring in the people who will encourage the conversations around WordPress that have not happened like they should. At any rate, on that note there, I think we're going to wrap it up. I'm going to give an opportunity here where you can tell people where they can find you, and the links to the websites that we've showcased here, WP Changelog and Influence WP, will be in the show notes. Also, where you can find Ryan, all the links will be in the show notes where you can find him on social. So take it away, Ryan.
Yeah, Influence WP, influencewp.com. If you want to buy anything software related in or around WordPress, visit there first, see if you can save some money. Changelogwp.com to find your favorite plugins or plugins that you are potentially interested in and you want to track the progress, see what's going on. Changelogwp.com, and just go add those plugins to your watch list.
There we go. Well, thank you very much. Don't run away on me. I'm going to play the extra credits here, and I will be right back with you.
Reminders for the show. All the show notes can be found at wppluginsa2z.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the newsletter for more useful information delivered directly to your inbox. WP Plugins A to Z is a show that offers honest and unbiased reviews of plugins created by you, the developers, because you support the show. Help keep the show honest and unbiased by going to wppluginsa2z.com/donate and set the donation level that fits your budget. Help us make the show better for you by subscribing and reviewing the show through your favorite podcast app. You can also watch the show live on YouTube at WPPluginsA2Z, and remember to subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications of all new videos. You can also follow the show on X at WPPluginsA2Z. John can be reached directly through the website WPProA2Z.com or email him at john@wppro.ca. Amber can also be contacted through the website at WPProA2Z.com or email her directly, amber@wppro.ca. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day, and we'll see you next week.